Okay, welcome aboard, everyone. I'm Sheila Bélanger. This is Tame the Fear Dragon, Access Your Inner Visionary. Very excited to give you this course. Some people are with me live as I'm recording this, and I will be periodically checking the chat box to see what they're sharing and also some of the questions they might be bringing forward. So again, I'm giving a bow to my invisible ones who are present with us. So grateful for your energy and your love. So let's begin the journey. This is Module 1 in the course or in the weekend immersion. Introduction to the journey. Answer the call of your inner visionary. You're here because it's time to tame the inner fear dragon's spell of limitation and the tremendous frustration that happens with that. And to effectively navigate the edge of change between your outworn versions of self caught in the fear dragon's spell and who you long to be at this pivotal time. We're all at a huge edge on a global level, and all of us on individual levels are at very powerful edges. Some are incredibly painful and difficult, some are exciting and outrageous, and some are really, really mysterious. I want to help you navigate the edge of that change because you're ready to go on an inner journey to awaken your deeper imaginative nature. So, I'm Sheila Bélanger. I'm a transformation coach and guide. I'm a certified coach, and I use a process-oriented approach to guide you at the edge, the place where your past and your future selves meet. For over 35 years, I have effectively translated consciousness shifting practices and inner work practices into life-changing ways for thousands of my people. Now, inner edges are challenging. They're so challenging. Because at these edges, you know that your old life and identities are over, but you do not yet know who you are becoming nor where you're going. The ancient ones call this the betwixt and between place. Not here, not there. I'm betwixt and between. Inner edge time. And at your edge, this course, Weekend Immersion, will support you to access enduring spiritual transformational practices to navigate limitations and unleash the potential of your authentic, generative inner visionary. Your inner visionary calls you to remember your multidimensional nature. You're so much more than you think you are, so that you can bring magic into your everyday world. This is embodied practical magic that helps change your life and the life of others. Now, one way of defining a visionary: one who has unusual foresight and imagination. One who has unusual foresight and imagination. And I imagine that you're here with me, whether it's live or in the online course, because you have a sense of having foresight and imagination. And you feel your visionary, your inner visionary calling you. Now, here's an overview of the course, the whole 7 modules. It will guide you to cultivate your ability to do several key things. 1, to track yourself using your 4 primary intelligences, and we'll explore what that means. Number 2, to make attitude adjustments to shift toward a visionary mindset. You'll also learn to gather your allies to access inner and outer resources. You'll explore using some powerful maps to navigate your edge territories of change. And you also begin to learn how to consciously steward how you travel in your multi-worlds. It's really important you know how to drive in the multi-worlds, my friends. And at the very end, we'll have a module will help you continue to apprentice to your inner visionary. I'm so aware of any kind of deep dive, a weekend retreat, an experiential process, powerful transformative practices. it has to stick. Otherwise, it was just a really cool experience. And I'm really dedicated in this course that when we're done in our journey, that you have some really practical ways that you can take these practices and really live them in your life and not lose them. That's my hope and prayer. So the modules in this course are stepping stones to support you to tame the fear dragon and access your inner visionary. Now, each module will offer you foundational mindset practices that allow you to experientially explore your multidimensional nature. And that's what's really key in my transformational work with people is it's all about experience. I want you to take it into your body, into your heart, into your deep knowing. So you probably know by now this is not an academic course. They're totally fine. It doesn't work for me, and it doesn't usually work for my people. We want to get into it. So they're going to be experiential practices, and just know at the get-go, for those of you live with me or those of you coming in to be with me on the online course, it's all choice-based, they call it. If there's anything I'm offering you you don't want to do, you don't do it. In the middle of doing an experiential process, if it doesn't feel right for you, just stop. All of these practices I'm giving you in a foundational stepping stone way so that you can keep building up your skill set, building up your confidence, getting to know more and more of your visionary nature. That's how the program is designed, and that's how I work as a coach and a guide. So here's the tools and resources you need for this course. You need your journal. There'll be many times where I'll be giving you some journaling prompts, and I will make space for you to actually do the journaling sometimes. And for my people who are alive, you'll also have the option if you want to share that with another person if that feels congruent. You need a quiet space in which to do your journaling, guided imagery practices, simple meditation practices, and what I call embodied multi-world practices. Stay tuned. And most important of all, your willingness to commit to apprentice to your inner visionary. Your longing keeps you on the path. So remember what brought you here. Why did you get called to travel with me? And keep that alive, that longing alive. So I want to take a threshold moment. And this is a very simple and profound consciousness shifting practice. To just define, consciousness shifting practice is just like it sounds, when you move your state of consciousness from one to another, from one place to another, or a mindset shift. And having a threshold moment, pausing and making a conscious transition is so, so important. And that's what we're going to do together right now. So I invite you to shut off your extra devices. And if you're watching me on a computer or laptop, close out your extra tabs. Sit down if you're not already, or lay down if that's more comfortable. And let's together take 3 deep breaths. And every time you exhale, let your body relax more and more. So take a nice deep breath in with me. Exhale, let it go. Another deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. And one more time, big breath in. And as you exhale, really seat yourself in your chair. You can roll your torso, your shoulders, your head. Big exhale out. If you're on the floor, just let yourself completely relax onto the floor. And commit to show up to access your inner visionary. So the edge, the boundary between your identity and new or unknown experiences. Here's a real simple reflection question for you. Right in this moment, what's one key edge for you? One key edge for you. You might just kind of note that. Okay, so just good to check in at the beginning and see what's happening. One of the shares from our people who are live with me, one key edge for them is being the one on stage. Yes, that's a great edge to be with. Okay, perfect. More edges may come in. We'll come back to them. Okay, so you are more than you think you are, so much more. And in these tumultuous edge times for our world, your authentic multidimensional presence is a very potent contribution to our world. Now let's talk a bit about mindset, because this course is all about shifting from a fear to a visionary mindset. This is one way to define mindset: a set of beliefs or a way of thinking that determines one's behavior, outlook, and mental attitude. Your inner fear dragon is rooted in a habitual, limited mindset. And when you look at this image, some of you may really relate. I know I did. It's like, yep, that's what it feels like. When I'm completely twisted up with my anxiety and fear, I'm in a cage and I'm trapped. And I know that. I've had that recently with our pandemic crisis. About a month ago, I had really strong respiratory illness, and I was certain I had the virus, and I was certain I was going to die. And it was legitimately a state of consciousness I was in, and I was in a cage. So your inner fear dragon is rooted in a habitual, limited mindset. Now, in this course, you'll explore several potent and effective consciousness shifting practices to help you begin to move beyond a fear mindset and access your creative and visionary mindset. Now, self-care alert. This is a really key moment. We all want to pause. If at any time in the course you find the practices I'm offering to be destabilizing you in a difficult way, please stop doing them. The practices can open doors to deeper layers of yourself, and especially if you have experienced unhealed trauma, which many of us have, it's essential that you not push yourself over an unhealthy edge. Instead, stop the practices, get internal and external support to heal. That is a very courageous thing to do. So just be tracking that. And anytime the practices just don't feel right to you, please don't do them. Respect yourself and take care of yourself. So get out your journals. Here's some journal reflection questions at the threshold as we're stepping into this course. I'm going to leave the screen up, but I'm going to read them out, and then I'm going to give you about 5 minutes. I'm going to turn off the recording and give you about 5 minutes to really just write. Those of you who are watching this as a recorded course, you also get out your journal and take some time and write these down. So question number 1, if you weren't held back by your inner fear dragon's limiting mindset of toxic fear and the current global crisis, what 3 important changes would you make in your life right now? They could be personal and or professional. Just write them down. Just trust whatever comes to you first. What 3 key important changes would you make? And then the second question, how would your life be different if you made those changes? So take about 5 minutes to write that down in your journal. Okay, perfect. Thank you all for taking the time, and let those 2 questions really stay with you at the threshold. We might revisit them in the 7th module to see what's happened for you with those. So very, very good to just check in with yourself. What might be possible if you were not held back by the inner fear dragon? Okay, we're going to move to exploring a bit of something called process work. What is process work? I know some of you in the live course with me know some experiences with it, some may not. And process work is an amazing practice, worldview, creature. It's really an amazing thing. And it offers you ways to explore your multidimensional state nature. So I'm going to give you a little overview of that right now. Process work is a multi-level and interdisciplinary approach to individuals, relationships, groups, and organizations. It's a basic art and scientific skill for following the various experiences and communication styles of people around the world. It is an art as well as a skill. Now, process work was developed by Arnie Mindell. Well, he researched illness as a meaningful expression of what Jung called the unconscious mind. It has been further developed in collaboration with his wife, Amy Mindell. Now, I always like to say when I'm introducing process work, when Arnie Mindell first started exploring this, he was both a trained Jungian analyst, therapist, depth psychologist, and a quantum physicist. So process work is a hybrid of quantum physics and Jungian psychology, depth psychology. It's quite trippy. So let's look at some key aspects of the process work worldview as it pertains to consciousness shifting practices, and particularly the ones we're going to explore in this course together. 3 key things with the worldview of process work. 1, its roots are in Taoism, which we'll look at in a moment. It has a core principle called deep democracy, which is astonishing. And it has a map that talks about the 3 levels of awareness we can be with. So the roots in Taoism, in Taoism, you follow the wisdom of the flow of nature. The process shows the way in process work. There's a real fluid, not trying to control, just following what's naturally happening. And in this course, you'll learn ways to track and align with your authentic visionary processes, and you will learn to follow the wisdom of the flow of your own nature. Deep democracy. Everything belongs. There is equal value and importance to all people, voices, and levels of awareness. And in this course, you'll learn ways to honor all your unique inner figures and voices. Deep democracy inside yourself. And then the 3 levels of awareness. Now, I've given you an image here to express an understanding of it. And even though there's a funnel cone, imagine that the top of it and the bottom of it is wide open. It's not a closed system. And in the 3 levels of awareness and process work, they're all sacred and necessary. There isn't a ranking that one is better than another. The first level, the top level, is called consensus reality. This is the everyday reality that you live in. It can be a place of polarization, however. The second level is called dreamland, underneath consensus reality. It's the land of dreams and deep feelings, mythic and archetypal realms. This is a place where you can heal polarization by exploring being fluid with roles and feelings. It's an amazing level of awareness, and it's very much a place of shapeshifting, where you don't get caught in one identity, but in a healthy way. Again, we want to do our consciousness shifting practices in a really healthy way and not in an unhealthy or disassociative way. But in a healthy way, when you're in the dreamland level of awareness, you're not so stuck in certainty about it's this, it's that. There is a fluidity. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. You can go back and forth with different roles and different feelings. That's the dreamland level of awareness. And the third level of awareness, underneath it all, they call essence level in process work, essence level. It's the non-dual realm from which everything arises, the realm of energetic tendencies, vague feelings and intuitions that you cannot verbalize. For some people, when they look at this map of levels of awareness, they think of the essence level as divinity, God, goddess, mystery, great spirit, Buddha nature, eternal one. It's at the heart of everything, is the non-dual realm, the essence realm. And then from that is the dreamland level of exploring mythic, archetypal feelings, dreams. And then there's consensus reality. And they all belong. They're all necessary. The 3 levels of awareness in process work. The 3 levels of awareness are always available to you. Always. But you don't know that when you're caught in the fear dragon spell. You're constricted and caught, and you're trapped in a certain mindset, and you forget that you have capacity to open to other levels of awareness. So stretch and water break. I just want you to kind of move your bodies and check in with yourself and how you're doing so far on this journey. Get some water, really important. Talking about fluidity, get some water. And just stretch your body. My preference is always to do programs embodied in nature, with people together in nature. We don't get to do that right now. And for some people, they can't come and see me in the Pacific Northwest of North America, the United States. And so online courses are a beautiful way to connect with community and give support, transformational support. So just good thing to be back in your body and stretch a bit. Okay. Now, process work offers some pathways to expand your awareness, very much so. And here's one of them. We call them dream doors. So back to this image of the funnel with the 3 levels of awareness, where consensus reality is the top level and dreamland is underneath. Now, dream doors are places in your consensus reality consciousness where the doors open to dreamland. In your psyche, you can cultivate the ability to open dream doors and allow the wisdom of dreamland to help you in your everyday life. It's like bringing the gifts and the blessings of dreamland into consensus reality. And we all know how much we need expansion, support, fluidity, another way of looking at things, opening things up, because our consensus reality right now is quite difficult for many people, incredibly difficult. And many people feel locked and trapped and feel like they've got no options. So we want to open up some dream doors. It's a bit akin, a little bit, of Alice going through the rabbit's hole, okay? And you'll see as we go to explore dream door activities that, again, you're going to be pacing yourself. You're going to explore into whatever degree is right for you. And it isn't about pushing yourself over the edge. It's about gently and consciously exploring your other levels of awareness. So dream doors from process work. And dream doors, that's one of the ways to bring magic into your everyday world, because you are opening the doors between the worlds of dreamland and consensus reality. So I'm going to give you a very simple dream door exploration. It's an embodied consciousness shifting practice. Again, choice-based. It'll probably take about 5 minutes. So if any of you don't want to do that, you can just keep your eyes open and be watching me. You might be doing some more journaling. If those that want to, I'm going to guide you very gently in a simple dream door exploration. And as I might be showing it to you a little bit while I'm here, guiding you. So if you see my body moving, you can kind of know what I'm up to. So it begins with just getting yourself comfortable. I'm going to invite you to just stretch your body a bit, get real comfortable, and let yourself, wherever you're sitting or standing or laying down, just gently sort of pivot your body around, back and forth. Just let that movement happen. And as you're doing that, at a certain point, your body will just naturally stop in a certain position. It'll just feel right. And so just let yourself come to a point of stillness and just rest there, whatever way your body is positioned, and gently close your eyes and take a nice deep breath. And as you open your eyes, notice the very first thing that catches your attention, whatever it is. If you're inside a room or in your car, just whatever just grabs your attention. Or if you're looking out the window or if you happen to be outside, just trust that. And let yourself visually look at whatever caught your attention. Take in its color, its shape, just how it appears to you on a visual level. And keep breathing, and then bring up one of your hands, your left or right hand, it doesn't matter. And as you're looking at the object that caught your attention, let your hand slowly begin to move in whatever way it wants to. It's like your hand is moving in relationship to you seeing this object or whatever caught your attention, because it might be a tree outside. And just kind of let your hand go wherever it wants to go. It might be making very subtle movements. It might be making bigger movements. It might be making no movement. It could be a little fingertip going. And just play with it. Don't worry about if some part of you is saying, oh, this is stupid. What am I doing? It's like blow that part of you a kiss and say, it's all right. We're just doing a little experiment here, okay? Just keep looking at the object, moving your hands. And then if it feels okay, slowly close your eyes and continue to see the object or the being from nature, whatever caught your attention. Continue to see it in your inner eye and let your hand make any kind of motions in response to how you're seeing this part in the world, in consensus reality, that caught your attention. And just keep breathing and just notice, let your hand move in whatever way it wants to move. Continuing with your inner eye to see the object that caught your attention or the being in nature out the window, whatever feels right. Just a little bit. And then let your hand naturally stop and just sort of rest. Kind of maybe shake it off and release that. And then if it feels comfortable, open your eyes back up. Okay. Now, that's a very simple dream door exploration, because what we did was something in consensus reality, some object, so-called object, or perhaps a plant or a tree or something outside of a window, caught your attention. And as you gave energy of connection to it, something else happened where your body moved in relationship to it. So we opened up a very small dream door with that object or that being in nature, and just began very gently, like sticking our toe into the dream door, just seeing what happens in my body when I explore that. Okay, so that's a very simple dream door exploration. And I'm going to just come here for a moment. So thank you for being willing to try that very simple dream door exploration. Remember, with me, I work with you at the edge as a transformation coach. It does not serve anybody if I push you over the edge or you push yourself over the edge. Doesn't help at all. We're going to work the edge together. Dip our toes in, try something, come back. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. Here's where we'll be going in the next 6 modules and the practices that you'll explore in this course. We're moving into completion for this module. Thank you for your willingness to be here. And so the next module coming up, for those in the weekend immersion retreat later this afternoon, those in the online course, whenever you want to go to module 2, you go to module 2. So in module 2, you'll begin to learn how to track yourself using your 4 primary intelligences. I call this work Survey the Scene. Survey the scene. And we're going to look at tracking what the fear dragon is actually guarding in you. It's quite amazing. So we're going to survey the scene. You begin to learn to track yourself using your 4 primary intelligences. In module 3, Weekend People, Saturday morning, you'll begin to make attitude adjustments to shift toward a visionary mindset. Shift from a fear to a visionary mindset. Module 4, you'll begin to gather your inner and outer allies to access inner resources. This will be midday on Saturday for the weekend immersion people. Call it Cultivate Your Inner Resources by Gathering Your Allies. In Module 5, you'll begin to use several human developmental maps to navigate your edge territories of change. It's important to know when you're at the edge, the betwixt and between, I'm not who I was and I don't know who I am yet. And sometimes you can get a really helpful map to navigate your edge territory. So we're going to apply some maps to guide you in your inner journey in Module 5. That will be late Saturday for those in the weekend immersion. And in Module 6, you'll begin to learn to consciously steward how to travel in your multi-worlds. This is lifelong practice, dear ones. Okay, a weekend immersion, an online course will only help you begin to do this. Some of you already know how to do this and you're developing even greater skills. This is a lifelong practice of learning how to consciously steward how you travel in your multi-worlds, and we'll get you a nice, good foundation for that. So you'll cultivate your inner visionary by stewarding your multi-worlds. That's one of the ways. And then finally, in Module 7, you'll explore how you can continue to apprentice to your inner visionary. Okay, it's a commitment to stay in your apprenticeship with your inner visionary, and it's being in alignment with your true nature. And this is the part, like I said, I am a very seasoned guide, teacher, catalyzer, and I myself have done numerous personal growth experiences, and I know when the rubber meets the road, when you go home, when you go forward in your everyday life, how do you make it stick? So these practices are with you, and they're like a toolbox for you. They're a support for you. We're going to look at that in Module 7 in completion. Those in the weekend immersion, Sunday will be Module 6 and 7. So as we move to completion, for this module, here's a quote from Charles Eisenstein. Ultimately, work on self is inseparable from work in the world. Each mirrors the other. Each is a vehicle for the other. When we change ourselves, our values and action change as well. When we do work in the world, internal issues arise that we must face or be rendered ineffective. It's that beautiful dance between outer and inner, the personal, the collective, the personal, the community. And this is deep inner work that you're taking on with this course. And I'm so grateful because it will have huge ripple effects in your world, with your people, with your loved ones. The huge might be very subtle, but it will have a ripple effect, and especially for you. So your willingness to tame your fear dragon and cultivate your visionary nature is a life-enhancing offering for our world. Thank you for that. So you've been in Module 1 with me. Introduction to the Journey, and Answer the Call of Your Inner Visionary. Thank you so much for being here, for showing up. Thank you. So next up in Module 2, you'll survey the scene to track how your inner fear dragon shows